Welcome back to another episode of Level Up Your Game. I'm Rip, and of course I'm joined by MYK from IamTekken.com and crew. And today we're here, we don't got a special guest, but we're going to cover Bob. And don't forget about our app on the App Store, just 99 cents. So kick back, relax, and get ready to level up your game! Alrighty, so we're going to kick things off as usual with Punishers. MYK, take it away.
Alright, so first thing to know about Bob is that he has one of the best range jabs in the game, and he can punish certain things that other characters can't even reach. So, try to demonstrate that here with Jin 442. I believe it's minus 12 now, but the pushback makes it so it's pretty much safe against every character. But Bob, at certain ranges, he can punish you with 2-1, like there. Yep. And it does 24 damage, it leaves him at +5, and the good option about this is that it's 10 frames and the second hits mid, so even if you mess up and then they try to duck under your high jabs, the mid's always there to
support you.
Yeah. But if you're 100% sure something's minus 10 and it's always going to reach, like we'll have like Jin do a wall standing 2 right now. Yeah, it does 28 damage, it only leaves him at +1. But it's his most damaging jab punisher, and then pretty much is pretty consistent. Like, even if the first one hits from pretty far away, the rest will pretty much hit all the time.
And how bad is it on block, just in case the second hit whiffs?
In case it all jails on block, so even if he blocks it, he can't duck in the middle of it. So he has to block it all the time. But even if he blocks it all, and if you mess up, it's only minus 10 again.
Okay.
So it's not too bad. The next one he has is 1-4, and then 1-4 is pretty good because the 4 also has a lot of range, and 1-4 is nice because just to like keep him out sometimes too, not even like as a punisher, because the 4 will act like as a regular counter hit 4 as well. But we'll have Jin do wall standing 2 again, and I'll demonstrate the 1-4. Yeah, it does 26 damage.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it does 26 damage, so it's like right in between like 2-1 damage and 1-1-2. And also, unlike 2-1, it gives +5, 1-4 gives +4. So it's not a bad option, considering 1-1-2 is only +1.
I think you should also show how the 4 acts like a counter hit 4.
Yeah, 4 will act as a counter hit 4 if you miss it because the range was off, but then you still scored a counter hit somehow because your opponent was mashing or something, then you can still follow up with the combo. So. And then you can just follow it up with whatever combo you want to. Then after 10, he has one of the in Tekken 6.0, the game that never got released to console. This move 4-2-3 was actually 13 frames, but then they sped it up now to 12 frames, and the range is still really good. And the great part about this is that it has a slight delay, so you could kind of hit confirm it a little bit.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then also the best part about it too is that it also wall splats. I believe it does 36 damage, I'm not sure.
37?
Yeah, 36,
with the wall.
So, okay, 37 damage. And so it's like one of the better 12 frame punishers out there, and the best part is that it'll punish like wake up 4s no matter what, so I'll knock down Jin here and then have him do a wake up 4. Yeah, so the range will pretty much punish that all the time. And like things like Jack's down 4-2 at max range will punish it. And it's just really reliable for a 12 frame punisher.
Yeah, I would say it's probably one of the longer range 12 frame punishers in the game.
Most definitely. And since there's a delay too, in case you're not sure if you connect it in time, you can somewhat hit confirm it. See that whole delay right there is still, natural combo, so it's really good. After that, you have other little things like back 2-2, which is 13, but you don't really want to use that because it doesn't grant you anything other than a little damage. You rather go for 2-3, 4-2-3.
It doesn't jail either.
Yeah, it doesn't jail. If they duck it, you die. At 14, he has down 4-1-2. I'm not sure how much it does. 33 damage, but again, it's the range is about the same as 4-2-3, but the damage and the knockdown you get after 4-2-3 is much more beneficial. And after that, he has At 15, he has down 2-4. Again, you rather use 4-2-3 in this situation again. It does 30 damage, it's natural, it wall splats again. It has a little more range than 4-2-3 actually. But you still rather go for 4-2-3. The other thing he can do at minus 15 is down 1 plus 2, 1-2 I believe. Jin has to stand up for that one. Yeah, this ridiculous goofy looking move.
A flurry of punches by
A flurry
Bob.
of punches. A McBob flurry. It does the
Huge
most
damage, 46. I mean, well, I guess not huge for general 15-frame launcher, but
Yeah, I mean, in 6.0, he used to have a down forward 2 that launched, but then
on regular hit.
Yeah, but since then they took that out, so
Now it's
yeah.
only a counter hit launcher.
Yeah, so now usually Bob players just go straight for 4-2-3 punishes on pretty much everything now. But this option is always there. The only bad part is that it leaves you supercharged because after you do a flurry of punches, apparently you have to supercharge. But it leaves them pretty far away, and it does score a knockdown. So if you just really need damage, it's the best option you could go for. Just remember, you're left supercharged and you can't block, but he does have a rollback to roll away. So just use that to your own caution. After that, at 16 at the fastest, you could do crouch dash 1. It's really hard to do, and I don't really recommend it because if your opponent knows you're going to go for a 16-frame crouch dash 1,
They can just
just duck it. It's a high, you die and stuff. But the safer option to that, at 16, you also have headbutt. And the headbutt is really good because it's another hiccup formable move, just like a 4-2-3. The range is amazing. And
so that's 16 frames?
yeah, it's 16 frames, so it'll wall splat, does huge damage. Yeah, it does 49 damage, so just 1 point away from 50, so that's pretty solid. And range is good. You can hit confirm it. It's pretty much and
crushes lows.
Yeah, crushes lows, crushes jabs. So it's kind of a low and a high crush in a way, but you wouldn't really use it for a high crush.
Okay.
After that, he has down back 1 plus 2, which is at 18. So we'll show Jin doing a down 3 plus 4 here, which is 19. And he can punish that and then follow up with like a full combo and whatever he wants. That's pretty good, but keep in mind that down back 1 plus 2 is really bad on block. It's launch punishable. So I think in return it's also minus 18, but I'm not quite sure. So it's like 18 frames and minus 18 itself. So it's really risky. But if you know it's guaranteed on things like like walls, wall standing 2, or Jin's cannons, you could go for it for an easy launch.
So that's at 18 frames, you said?
Yeah, that's
And then his crouch dash 1 at its fastest is 16 frames.
Yeah.
So he doesn't really have an easy launcher until 18 frames, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but the easiest thing to do in like tournament situations is definitely just go for the headbutt at 16. What does he have? After that, he has at 20, he has a hop kick. Yeah, his hop kick's at 20 frames. It's kind of slow for a hop kick, and it's still minus 12 like a normal hop kick, but the range is really good. And then the crazy part is, like, if Jin tries to step to my left, it'll track all the way that way for some weird reason. Like,
it looks like you should be walking away from it,
even
right?
if he walks to my back, it'll still launch you for some reason. Like, I'll do a jab and then I'll have Jin walk. Yeah, like, I'm already like backtrending the hop kick hits for some reason, but the fat boy's gotta have love too sometimes. After that, at 23, he has a delayed hop kick. You wouldn't really use that unless you're blocking like a big sweep or something,
Right.
But that's pretty much about it for Bob.
For his standing. So how about his while standing punishers?
While standing, he actually excels in, because he's one of the few characters that has a 14-frame while standing punisher, but we'll get to that in a little bit. At 11, he has while standing 4. Jin's down 4 is 13, and he doesn't have anything else other than that for 13, so it's not too good. The range is good. It leaves him at +5. And then he has options after that, like down 2-1 if he tries to mash a jab. The first hit will trade, and then by then you're already like got the damage of while standing 4 and down 2, so that's pretty good. Or if he tries to retaliate with jabs, you can go for a down forward 2 to crush him. So there's another option like that. After that, he has while standing 2-2. It's a natural combo. It's safer than if you're not sure and you go for the while standing 2-1. So you could go for a while standing 2-2. We'll have Jin get hit by it here. Alright, it does 30...
36?
Yeah, 36 damage. So it's okay. I believe it's not minus 13 anymore. I believe it's minus 12 all the time. Do Wasabi want to? Yeah, so they made it a little safer from the previous game. The previous game it was 13, so characters like Law used to be able to like punish you with a while standing 1-2. Same with Kazuya, but now it's not so much the case. So if you're not sure, it's pretty safe to just throw out. But then if you know something's minus 14, you know you definitely got to go for the Fat Boy twin pistons.
Right. So both of those while standing 2 options are both 14 frame.
Yeah.
While standing.
Yeah. Since the
punishers.
first while standing 2
It's
is 14 now. Oh, it's always been 14. But the thing with while standing 2 as well is that it used to be jab punishable just by itself, but now they made it absolutely safe.
Oh.
So you could kind of just throw it out there to test the waters, or you can throw it out and delay the 2 to kind of catch them trying to punish you now, or if you want to go real crazy, you could delay the 1.
Oh, I didn't even know you could delay it. Okay.
Yeah, but if you delay it, trying to hit confirm this move, it's not like 4-2-3 or headbutt because it's not a natural combo in that situation.
It's not a natural combo on delay.
Yeah.
Got it. And it's launch punishable, right?
Yeah. And then after that, he has a couple options for minus 15. One really good one that players don't really use because they get used to while standing 2-1 so often is that he has a while standing 1+2. And then it flips him up, and then he gets a pretty good combo. And then the follow-up actually puts him back turn, so you get 1+2 into forward roll into a spinning ball 4. But we'll get to the stances in a little bit. While standing 1+2 is at 15. It used to be minus 12, but I think they made it minus 14 now. So we'll have Jinju back 3. Yeah, forward 1+2 is always also minus 4, also 14 frames. So they made it a little worse, but then if you're using it just to punish minus 15s, it's really good. I believe it does more damage overall than while standing 2-1, and you could go for some Oki options afterwards too. The other minus 15 options he has is while standing 1, but it's whatever. Doesn't really do anything.
Right.
He has extensions from it, but they're not natural combos.
Okay.
And then he has a while standing 1-3, that's a mid, but the 3 is minus 13 as well, so Jin can punish it with like a standing 3, standing 4. And so it's, it's just like kind of gimmicky stuff, but it's always there. You wouldn't really use that for a punisher. Another thing after that he would have is a full crouch down forward 2-1, which is also 15. How much damage? Yeah, it does 30 damage, just doesn't even launch, you might as well just go for a launcher. And down forward, full crouch down forward 2-4. There's a mid option or like a low option. It's kind of gimmicky. You might as well just go for the punish then. And after that, if you're in crouch still, you can still do the headbutt for minus 16. But why would you do that? Because you have an amazing 14 frame launcher.
Right.
And pretty much other than that, it's pretty much about it for Bob.
For his punishers at least. Okay, so we saw that roll a second ago, so let's go ahead, switch stage, let's talk about his stances. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and talk about Bob's stances.
Alright, Bob doesn't really have very many stances. If you want to call the spinning ball a stance, I guess you can. There's a couple moves that comes out of it, and there's a couple ways to get into it. And there's 2 versions to it as well. It has a backwards roll, which is back 3+4, and a forward roll that's forward 3+4. The thing about the rolls is that once you do it, he's left in crouch. So he always recovers in crouch. So he's always gonna. If you want to do another roll afterwards, you're gonna have to crouch cancel. So just tap up, just to do repeated back rolls or forward rolls.
Oh, I just remembered you could also do it off 1+2.
Yeah. I was gonna get to that.
Oh.
He has 2 ways to get into the rolls from moves, and the first one is like Al said, 1+2 and then forward. I don't know if you can do it backwards. Oh, okay. So you could go backwards and forwards after 1+2. And there's another one which is really gimmick and you're really never going to use it. It's up 1+2. You could go forward roll or back roll after that as well.
That looks cool. I would totally use that if I was a Bob player.
Yeah, I guess it's the Bob equivalent of a law fake flip. So
yeah.
All right, so let's discuss the moves that comes out of it. Spinning ball 1, it floats the opponent kind of like Steve's duck 1, or it kind of gives that flop float situation. I'll kind of demonstrate it here with Miguel. And 1+2 bind, and then it floats and flips him over. So it's kind of useful in combos, but not really, so don't really use it. It's up to you, but
It's mainly used for combos, though, in general.
In general, you could use it as a mix-up to the low, which we'll get to in a second, but that's one. And two, spinning ball 2 kind of whips them around, and if he blocks it, he actually puts them in like a guard stun situation. So it's not bad. I believe it's not even plus on hit actually, because Bob has so much recovery from it. So I believe it's like 0 or something like that on block. So jabs will beat me out if I try to do it, but you know, of course he has other options like wall standing 1 that crushes jabs, or wall standing 2. So there's always that option. So it's a safe mid. Puts them in crouch on hit, I believe. How much damage it does? Get hit by it. It does
25?
25 damage. It doesn't bind, even though it looks like it's a spike move. It puts them in crouch, and I believe you're on plus after that, but I'm not sure how many. It's not more than 5, that's for sure. And then he has okay, now we'll get to spinning ball 3. It's a high move, but it also gives a block stun. And I don't believe this one actually does give true frame advantage. But again, it's not that much. It's only like 1 or 2 if I remember correctly. So and keep in mind that if you duck it, it is a high. They can die. You can die from it.
And when the opponent's back is to the wall, does that still give the same pushback, or does it leave Bob closer with frame advantage?
We'll see what's that.
Looks a little bit closer.
Yeah, it seems like there's still that wall pushback that happens with a lot of moves at the wall. So there's that option, but that's the option that you would see the least of. The most scary option from this is the 4, because it is a launcher, and then if the 4 hits, it goes through. If it's too far, he doesn't. Yeah, but Bob's pretty fat, so he's pretty much gonna cover the whole screen anyway. So when it does hit, you can follow up with a full combo afterwards, and get big damage after it.
Right.
But then the interesting part about this move that I need to talk about before I move on is that when it's blocked, even though Bob's hands aren't like sparkling in like a supercharged situation, for some reason either it's a glitch or they left it in there on purpose.
Counter hit state?
Yeah, he's left in a counter hit state until he's done recovering. So like, yeah, see, like right there, I'm not supercharged, we don't have counter hit on, and then we'll have Miguel do like a standing 4 and it'll get considered counter hit. So if you're like Steve or something and you block it and you want huge damage off of it, just crouch cancel and back one his ass. So.
Let me try it.
So yeah, like with Law, you could do while standing 4-3.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. You know.
You have a lot of time. There's a lot of recovery on this move.
Yeah, I've also heard that it's countered through the entire roll if you can hit him. But before the attack comes out of the roll.
Yeah,
that's probably. I mean, that seems more like a regular counter hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty much the low is pretty risky, but he also has this mid out of it too, which is also risky. But this is the most damaging mid he has out of the roll. The mid, the bunt stomp, is exactly -15. So some characters, well, most of the cast can launch it actually. Leaves them in crouch, but characters with like hotkeys and stuff can launch it. I could hold back to end up back turn like you saw there, and then he'll launch me back turn. So I could kind of mess around with that if I know if I think they're gonna block it. I probably wouldn't go for this in the first place. But in case they do, and I know that they get less of a combo on back turn characters, I could just go back turn instead.
Right, kind of make it a little bit safer for yourself.
Yeah, if I'm gonna get launched, at least make the juggle damage less. And pretty much other than that, he doesn't really have too many scary mids out of this stance, so that's pretty much about it. The low is definitely the biggest thing you have to worry about.
Cool. So while we're here, let's go ahead, and you mentioned that, I think the roll 2 was not a bind move, so let's just go ahead and mention what Bob's bind moves are.
Alright, so Bob's bind moves, like we said, he has the headbutt, but if you follow up with the 1 instead, it'll actually, that's actually a bind move, so I'll try to show that here. Yeah, the 1 part will bind, and that's pretty much going to be your main bind move for Bob.
So that's up forward 1+2 1.
Up forward 1+2 1, yes. And it's also, it's unlike the headbutt, it's not a natural combo at all. So by itself, it's not very useful at all, other than in combos. So after that, you have back 4-1, which is his next most useful bind move, I would say. Back 4-1 does pretty good damage too, and it's mainly used on the wall, and there's a lot of situations where you would have to use back 4-1 over up 4-1 plus 2-1, but we'll get to that in the combo section or something. Try to demonstrate that finally. Back 4-1 binds. Another move that binds is 1+2. This move, it's definitely used the least out of all his bind moves, so trying to demonstrate. 1+2, like we said, you could go into the forward roll to kind of do some cool combos with it. And he has one more out of his 10 string. That last hit right there actually is a bind move. But when the hell are you going to land that, you know? Okay, so I'm going to get Bob back turn here, and then he's going to get hit by down. Yeah, the last hit binds, but when are you ever going to hit that? So it's pretty useless. You definitely never see this in like tournament play to use that as a bind move. You know, I think it's like the 5th hit that binds, so when are you going to hit that? So pretty much Bob's main one is a 4-1+2-1. After that, it's back 4-1.
Cool.
Wait, while sending 2-2.
Oh yeah, that's right. He has one more. That's actually kind of useful, I guess. Yeah, there we go. While standing 2-2, it's mostly used in like, let's say, you know, whatever he does, like the slide or down back 1+2, and then it leaves him in crouch, so he could just follow the while standing 2-2 right away. But other than those situations, generally it's going to be the headbutt or back 4-1.
Cool. Alright, so really quick before we jump into the rest of his useful moves, let's go ahead and talk about his homing moves.
Alright, Bob has 2 homing moves. A lot of characters got one more additions to a homing move in VR, which is the console version. And then the original homing move for Bob was forward 4. We'll demonstrate that here. Forward 4 on normal hit gives like a certain knockdown that puts them on their side. And then the thing with this homing move is that it's high, so if they do like predict it, you know, it could.
They can duck.
Yeah, they can duck it and launch you for it.
And we'll talk about it later, but Bob does have some tracking issues, so
Yeah,
if you can
yeah.
kind of guess that one's coming, you can duck it. But okay, go on. About
He
his
has
moves.
that. It gives a good knockdown. You could run up and down 1 for guaranteed damage. Yeah, it's pretty much guaranteed. You could go for down 1 right afterwards. It combos, so for 42 damage. So it's pretty good damage for a homing move. Believe if you predict them staying down, you could even go for down forward 1+2, which we'll get to on ground hitting moves later. But after that, he has forward 4, and then the first part is a homing move, but he has an extension to it. Forward 4 is safe, but it's kind of slow. I believe it's 23 to 24 frames, depending on how fast you do it.
Yeah, I don't really see Bob players use it much.
Yeah, it's not too good.
But it looks cool.
It's slow. A fat man's flying in the air doing a spin kick.
It's kind of like Van Damme's kick from Bloodsport, except
Yeah,
much
yeah.
fatter.
Yeah, I mean,
much more jolly.
the first part by itself is safe, but if you want to get the knockdown, you have to go for forward 4, and then it is a natural combo, 38 damage, a wall splats. But
Floats in the air.
yeah, there's no delay. You know, how can you delay a flying fat man move like that? So just have to commit. It's -12 on block.
That's not terrible.
It's not too bad if you absolutely, you know, predicted they're gonna go for a step, but
Right.
yeah, that's pretty much the main purpose of it. If you want a safe option, just 4, but keep in mind it is slow and he is airborne, so he can get floated during the animation of it. So
Right.
so just use it to your own, you know, advantage or caution or whatever I'm looking for.
Alrighty, so I think you pulled out, or you talked about 2 homing moves there. Is that about it?
Yeah, that's all he has wrong.
Alrighty, cool. So let's go ahead and move on to Bob's useful moves then. Alrighty, let's go ahead and talk about Bob's useful moves.
Alright, Bob has actually a lot of useful moves, and then a lot of these you'll see players running back and forth with it. Like, they'll be running these moves a lot. So, first one I want to talk about is definitely his jab. The most simple thing, but it's also one of the best tools about Bob. The thing about his jab is that it just has so much range. It has one of the best ranges in the game, if not the best. And he's really good with locking characters down with just a jab, you know? So he could do like 1-1 just to harass them, or like sidestep and then 2-1 just to stay on them.
Yeah, even that 2 jab has a lot of range.
Yeah.
As we saw earlier with Jin's forward 2.
There's more.
Yeah. Even his 1 and his 2 both do have great range. His 1 on block is like any other jab, just +1. His 2 is actually 0, but just the range is what keeps people, you know, in check, you know. Because if they start trying to retaliate by jagging you back because they got impatient or something, you know, Bob can go for the headbutt and crush your grab or something, and then you'll be eating like 50 something damage because it'll be counter hit at that point. And yeah, that's the next move I probably want to talk about is headbutt. The thing about this move is that it's pseudo hit confirm, like from full screen or something. Not full screen, but like half screen. Like let's say they whiff something, and I'm not sure if my whiff punisher is gonna hit, and I'm like, okay, I'll hit confirm the first part. Oh, he whiffed? Okay, and then I get a hit confirm afterwards. You know, so you get a whiff confirm at the first part of the headbutt, and then the second part you get a hit confirm with it. So that's really good. And also it just does a lot of damage, but it is very linear. So, but we'll cover that in how to beat Bob.
Yeah, and you know, Rix was actually mentioning that you can hit confirm it better with audio.
Yes. Because the thing with Bob's headbutt, it makes a big smacking sound, like kind of like Bruce's down 4. So when you hear that smack, you could kind of hit confirm it that way. So it's a lot easier to hit confirm it with audio, which is interesting.
Right, because most tournaments we've been to lately haven't had very loud audio, right?
A lot of the recent tournaments with console, all these new HD monitors, high tech stuff, and shenanigans. You know, one thing these companies forgot is the damn sound. So,
well, we're using computer monitors that usually come.
Right, usually have headphones or speakers attached to your computer.
But then these are like the tournament standard nowadays, and aren't the CRTs anymore. So the sound is very limited on these monitors. So characters like Bob will kind of suffer because his headbutt is definitely a lot more of an audio thing, in my opinion. And I think a lot of people agree too that a lot of Bob players that the smack from the first headbutt is what really triggers the hit confirm on this move. So, after that, we got to go down to his other pokes. Like, down forward 1 is really good. It's really good because he brings it up from his back, and then it tracks all the way to his left side. So, you can't really step him when he's doing down forward 1. But then, again...
Wait, you can't step him in that direction, but you can step him the other direction. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, so to Bob's left and to your character's right, it'll track all the way. But, like we said, if you go the other way, he dies. But he also has a down forward 2 to cover the other way. So we'll try to have Julia kind of walk that way for his down forward 2. Yeah, so if he steps the other way, down forward 2 will just whiff straight up. Well, he's not playing like that. But, yeah, so down forward 2 will whiff. And so down forward 1 has to come in his place. And down forward 2 will cover the other side. And the good part about down forward 2 is that... if they try to sidestep and stick out a jab or like a move, try to predict your whiff before you even do it, your down forward 2 will counter hit, and then you get a full combo, and then it's gonna be really painful. And then the good thing about if you absolutely know they're gonna step to their right, you can just do the string for down forward 1 2, and then it will be 33 damage.
Interesting.
Poke right there. It's pretty good damage for a poke. So, but just keep in mind that down forward 1 2 is minus 12 on block, so it's pretty punishable. But also there is a delay, so if you notice that they sidestepped and then they blocked their down forward 1, you could try to just delay it and score a counter hit like that, and then it gives a breakable stun by holding forward. But if they don't, you could launch them or whatever you want. So yeah. Okay, so the next move I'll probably talk about is Bob's back 2-2. The good thing about this move is that it's natural combo, even though it doesn't jail, but it does do decent damage, and it's really quick. So if your opponent isn't really sharp and really on that day, then you could probably go for back 2-2 just to get some poke damage in. He does have an extension after this, back 2-4. A lot of people they see the string late and then they try to duck for the 4.
Hit, yeah.
And then if the 4 hits, the last 2 hits are guaranteed. So just be careful with that. But if they just go for the 4th hit without predicting it, the 4th hit is high again. So if he ducks the 4th hit, you can also get launched again too. Yeah.
Nice. Okay,
so the next move that Bob just got in this game in BR. Well, I wouldn't say this game because it's like out for a year or 2 already. But in BR, Bob got a new move and it's down 1. The good thing about this move is that it's 16 frames, so it's pretty fast. It's not too fast for a poke, but it's just good enough, Just
locks him down.
Yeah, it's really good because it's 0 on block. So, and it puts you in full crouch but leaves them standing. Why is that good? You know, it's like, if he does a 1, you know, like a 1-2 or something to try to retaliate, my while standing 4 will actually get beaten by the jabs because it doesn't crush. But, like we said, you know, while standing 2 crushes jabs. While standing 2 is pretty good to track them after like a down 1. You know, so if in case they retaliate with jabs, you could go for that option. You know, while standing 1 as well also crushes. So he has a lot of crush moves from down 1. So a lot of times you'll just find yourself just blocking a bunch of down 1s, and then Bob players are just chopping your head away. And on counter hit, it also gives a knockdown, and then it guarantees another down 1, which is kind of redundant, but you know. So you know, it's there, and it's good damage on counter hit. So, and he could also go for Oki, but we'll discuss that later. So it's a really good tool just to lock them down. They can't really retaliate. You kind of make them start blocking, and once they do, you know, you could go for like lows or something because now they're scared of, you know, retaliation and stuff. So now we'll get to his lows. Down back 3 is kind of useful. It's 20 frames, so it's pretty slow, but it tracks decently to his left, and it's +2 on block. It used to be +5, but they changed it in this game, and they also changed the tracking on it a bit too, and the hitbox is also nerfed a bit too. But it's still a good low that he has. But then the new low he got improved on is his down 4. This move is also pretty slow, but it's I believe it's 16 frames, so it's 4 frames faster than his down back 3. It's not launch punishable anymore. It used to be -16, now it's only like -12. So it's pretty good. You can use it like that. You know, another low string that a lot of players use is 1 down 4. It looks kind of like his regular down 4, but his 1 down 4, you know, because you'll be locking them down with jabs all day, and then you do like a 1 down 4. Oh my god!
Surprise!
It's like, oh my god, what do I do? Yeah.
And that down 4 though by itself, is that part of another string?
Yes, there's a string out of the down 4, which is down 4 3 4. The down 4 3 4 is pretty bad on block. Well, I don't think it's launch, but
That's not. It was in 6.0.
yeah, I believe it's -12 or something like that. But the thing about down 4 3 4 that doesn't make it good is that the
Second hit is high.
Second is high, but you know, there's always that follow up at the end. So it's kind of a gimmicky round ending move, but we'll get to that later too. Another really good low from Bob is down back 3 +4 4.
Oh yeah.
It's really bad on block. It gives stagger. Even if the first hit whiffs and you block the second hit, it doesn't stagger, but it's still really bad. Like, he could launch me for it. Yeah. So the second hit by itself is really bad as well, but the good thing about this move is that there's no like obvious crouch dash animation. It puts him in full crouch at -8, and you're at 30. You get 33 damage out of it. So
it's also magical from the back.
Oh yeah, or from anywhere past 90 degrees to the side or the back, the first hit trips them like it's a snake edge or something.
What?
Magical.
Yeah.
What the heck? I've never seen that.
Yeah. So
I need to watch more videos.
So if you get them at their back and just do the first hit, you could follow up with a full combo. Yeah, if you're just at the right angle, but we'll get to that. Alright, so after down back 3 +4 4, he has down back 4, which is also another improved low, because before on block it used to stagger, but now the animation just goes through. And now it's no longer launch punishable, and it's only -12 again. The good thing about this move is that it has an extension, even though the first hit is really slow, but the safety of the move kind of, you know, it makes it useful, the range, and also since it high crushes.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask. It does high crush?
Yes,
Yeah.
it high crushes.
Yeah, it looks like one of those moves you use kind of at range because it looks like it comes in a little bit, and so if they come with anything high, you'll go underneath it. You got a mid extension.
And the good thing about this, it's -12, the low by itself, and if he tries to punish it after blocking it, he does have an extension. So you could kind of use this sometimes at the end of a round or something. They try to punish the low and then they hit by the mid.
And there's more extensions, right? It doesn't end
Yes,
there.
there's more to it, but then the second hit by itself is also -12, but you have to block it standing.
The third hit is either low or high, so you could duck it.
But then the second hit is -12, so you can punish it after you block it. But then if he tries to punish that, you he could get a counter hit by the third hit, and then if the third hit counter hits, it's all guaranteed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But the third hit's lower high.
So it's just kind of you kind of have to read out your opponent. If he's crazy enough to do the full string, I guess he's crazy. But
Shoulder low.
and then or it could end sooner and it could go mid, low, mid, low. And I believe the third low is launch punishable, if I remember correctly. Oh, maybe they changed that too. All right, so maybe you just have to low parry the third hit.
Right.
It's the best option to go for.
So, I mean, if you see that string in general, you should be option selecting low parry, unless you're trying to punish the second hit.
Right.
Yes.
Because the third hit will either be a low or high.
Yeah. So Bob's big damage low is cross dash 4-1+2. Thing about it, you can't attack after it, so you always have to get up or roll forward or roll backwards. And if that happens, Bob can pretty much just go for running moves, and you're left in a guard stun. If you get up straight, you'll have to block it. If you roll back, you'll have to block it. So it's kind of a mix-up with staying down or not to block a guard stun move. As he gets a lot of frame advantage after running 3. I'm not sure how much it is exactly, but it's a lot. Only thing you could do really is just stay down and then try to punish him when he goes over you. But at that point, all you get is like a get up 3 or 4, so you don't really get too much damage. So Bob can go for that. The best part about the Bob's cross dash 4-1+2 is that at the wall, it doesn't push them back and it leaves them right in front of him.
Oh,
so
yeah.
he could go for down 1 to hit you grounded. If you try to get up, his back 2-2 will actually float you, and then he could get a back 2-2 and down 3+4 wall combo. But we'll talk about that later in Oki. And after that, since cross dash 4-1+2, it gives a big knockdown, does 40 damage. A lot of opponents are afraid of this move, so they're looking for it a lot. So the thing about Bob that's good is that he has he could cross dash like a Mishima. So he could use the cross dash mix-ups and then mix it up with the hop kick or cross dash into a back 4, which is also a safe launcher, but then the range is really bad and it's pretty linear as well. So it's only good when you think they're gonna duck.
Or go low.
Yeah.
Or once you've trained him to go low.
So you can
So that's back 4?
Yeah, back 4. So you could just do crouch dash and then back 4 to mix it up with your cross dash 4-1+2. And also after that, he has cross dash. You could do cross dash into a headbutt. Just mix it up. So there's a lot of mids you could use. Safer you want to go, you could do cross dash into like down 1 or something. It depends on how risky or how much reward you're willing to get. After that, Bob players love sidestep 1+2. It's really good because it has a little extra sidestep built into it as well. Because it only comes out on sidestep, and then the move itself has a little more of a step in it itself.
And it steps the direction you originally sidestepped.
So
it's not built into one direction.
Yeah, he uses both hands.
So if I step up, you'll notice that he uses his right hand. So if I'm stepping to my left, he'll be using his right hand, but if I'm stepping to my right, he'll be using his left hand.
That's cheap. Do other characters have that?
I'm not sure. I think Bob's one of the only ones.
It's unique, I think.
Yeah. And then the good thing about this is that even though it's minus on block, a lot of Bob, let's say Julia tries to go for a wall standing 4, but Julia is left in full crouch. Even though I'm minus 5, I could go for another one. So in case they try to retaliate, I could hit them. And also the most interesting part about this move is that if I hit them on their side, they can't back roll. So I get a free guaranteed ground hit. And it even combos. He could go for like something crazier like
the fat elbow.
He could go for like Shoryuken, but it's really risky. The easiest thing you could do is probably just down 4-1+2.
Wow.
And combos.
53
Fat
damage.
elbow.
Alright, so we covered his sidestep 1+2. After that,
Crouch dash 1, we haven't really.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty useful move, I think.
Okay,
Long
so-
range with punish.
So another thing that Bob really excels at is since his range is really good, his crouch dash 1 is exceptional for a whiff punisher.
Right here.
So he could be whiffing something and I could make the crouch dash really long by just delaying it, or I could do it really fast and make the range shorter. But that's really up to you on how far the range is. You gotta kind of eyeball it yourself. But then the thing is, it's really fast. Sometimes you could even use it as a keep out move because people just kind of run into it sometimes. And then the combo after it gives a flop launcher, but you can still pick them up after it launches them. you know, he still gets a full combo, follow it up, and does big damage. And
It pushes it pushes them in a certain direction. That means you could set up for sidestep 1+2 also.
yeah, you can set that up for like another sidestep 1+2, you know,
Wow.
and then you hit there on the side and you get a combo. And so that's really good for Bob.
Effectively, it's kind of like a God Fist for a Mishima.
Yeah, it's kind of like a safe win Godfist, so there's no -10 version, and I believe it's -6. So it's pretty good to set up for sidestep baits and stuff like that. Or, you know, even like gimmicky, like, you know, go for this and then like try to punish or something, thinking that it's punishable, and then you can just go for down back 1+2. And this is exactly the next move I wanted to talk about, was down back 1+2. It does high crush, but it doesn't crush against big hitbox highs, like Steve's back one will eat it up for free. Mishima's can electric it, and then it'll pretty much kill them for it. And then the move is also really linear. But then the thing about this move that makes it good is that if you're not on point with your crouch dash ones to whiff, you could you kind of see them whiff, and then you can use down back 1+2 in its place.
Right.
And then that makes it really good as well. Another thing that's good for Whiff Punisher is his hop kick, because it has so much range as well. But not as good as the full crouch dash one, but it's still pretty useful. And then speed is 20 frames, so it's kind of slow. But if they're whiffing and you're at the right spacing and you can see that they're whiffing and you know that the hop is going to reach, it's not a bad option to go for.
And so the other move is just the scoop move, down back
1+2.
1+2. Does that have more range than the hop kick?
I believe it does.
And it's faster too, right? Isn't it
Yeah.
18 frames or something instead of 20?
Yeah, but then the thing about this is that it's launch punishable.
right,
If you're a little
okay.
scared about, worried about, getting launched, you could go for a hop kick. And it's only -12, so it's not too bad. Some characters can punish it better than others, but it's better than getting launched. Alright, another useful move that Bob has is down forward 3+4. I believe this move is also 18 frames, but I'm not sure. So I kind of missed that in the Punishers, but here it is. Down forward 3+4, it's -13 on block, but he does have an extension. Down forward 3+4, 4. But, like we just saw, it's steppable both ways, and it's interruptible by only 10 frames. So if you do an 11 frame, you'll lose, but if you do 10 frame, you'll actually float him in the air. So it's kind of like the option select to punish him. So because this is 13, you could just go for the 10 frame Punisher every time. And then if they go for like anything slower, it'll trade, or they'll just get beaten out.
And just general rule of thumb, I mean, all jabs in the game are 10 frames roughly, right? I think there's a
except
couple
Henry.
exceptions, right?
Yeah. Okay, so like I said, 11 frames will trade, as we can see here. But, if you anticipate him doing the final hit, you could just step in and kill him for it, because it's going to be considered a launch.
Right.
But if he does do anything slower, like let's say it goes for something, whatever, like down forward 3 or something, and the last hit, I still get a full.
Oh, wow, okay.
So it's pretty dangerous in
Counter
that
launcher.
situation. Oh, no, even just a normal hit.
Oh, okay.
Like, they just get hit, full launcher, The crazy thing about down forward 3+4, once they get hit, they get sent flying like really far, as you can see right there. It's kind of like Brian's jet upper, but he could still get his full combo if you just delay it just a little bit.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah. So he could get his full combo that way, but then he could just go for the easier option by going straight for a headbutt and following up the combo like that. So that's pretty much it for that move. So yeah, pretty much Bob, just keep him at bay with his jabs and then kill them for any whiff, basically. I mean, he doesn't have launch Punisher at 15, but he does have amazing whiff Punishers to make up for it.
Cool. Alrighty, so I think that covers about most, if not all, of his useful moves. Let's go ahead and move on to his ground hitting moves.
Alright, since Bob is a big boy and he has a lot of like slamming the ground type of moves, he actually has a lot of ground hitting moves.
Wait, hold on. Do all big boys have a lot of slamming the ground moves?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Since Bob is this big
actually,
boy.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Really?
Okay, so Bob is a big boy, but when you hit him with the combos, he's actually considered a normal character for some reason. But alright, so the first one I want to talk about of his ground hitting moves is definitely down one. Easy, safe. Even if they stand up and block it, he's good. So, and it hits on every angle. You don't have to worry about angle-specific ground hitting moves, shenanigans. Then the one after that, it would be down forward 1+2. It's kind of like the wrestling move you do to like your little brother or your friend during like when you're like 10 or 12. And
You don't even have a little brother. You have a...
Hey, don't mention that on the internet.
Okay. Elbow
then,
drop.
yeah, it's like the little elbow drop move you'll do when you're messing around with your friends when you're younger. But after that, he would have back three. I wouldn't use back three or forward 2-3 to hit him grounded because these moves right here, back three and forward 2-3, they're both minus 15, and if they get up and block it, you're dead. After that, he has down four. Safe as well. Down back, pretty safe as well. Down back three, like we said earlier. Down three. This one is actually minus like 16 to 18, something around there.
As a high extension after, right?
Yeah, but it is pretty bad on block, so I wouldn't recommend going for it. Another one is down 3+4. If you're on the wall, 2 hits will actually pick up. I think at certain angles 2 hits might pick up as well, but it's kind of iffy. You wouldn't really go for this move either, since it's really bad on block. Since only the first hit hits, if they get up and they block it, the second hit will completely whiff and you'll die. Up forward 3+4, the first hit will hit. If Jack's back was at a wall right now, his hurricane kick up forward 3+4 4, the whole string will pick up on the wall and do pretty good damage. But we'll get to that in a wall hooky. I believe his short Yuken hits grounded too. Yeah.
Wow.
So this one is kind of iffy to hit grounded. It doesn't really hit grounded on all angles. It's kind of like the side only.
On all characters too, or is it just because Jack's big?
It's all characters.
Okay.
It's one of those like Jin's forward 4 hitting ground situations where it's only like certain angles on the ground will hit grounded. After that, he has down back 3+4. The first hit will hit grounded as well. Crouch dash 4 that hits grounded. Full crouch down forward 2-4. What else does he have?
Blockable.
Oh yeah, another thing too is his running 3+4 also hits grounded for major damage. His rolling, his spinner ball 4 hits grounded, and spinner ball 3+4 also hits grounded.
4-3-4.
Oh yeah, the last hit of his canned string right here, 4-3 3+4 also hits grounded. His while standing 3+4, he doesn't jump so high for a fat guy. Also hit grounded. Yeah, big boy. A lot of flips, a lot of shenanigans. That hits grounded. Another ground hitting move that Bob has is 4-4 3+4. Second hit hits grounded. The good thing about this too is also safe. And then if they get up, thinking that you're going to do a low hitting ground hitting move or something, they'll just get up and duck this, and then it also puts them in a grounded state again. And then if he gets hit by that, he gets another guaranteed ground hit as well. So it's not a bad ground hitting move, you just don't see it very often. Another one, real quick, is this is probably the most useless one, is up 3+4 3-4. The last hit actually hits grounded, but you have to whip like 5 million moves just to get to it, so you pretty much don't want to use it.
And that's one of those strings that people should be low pairing as well.
Yeah, a lot of gimmicky ways to end the round is like use a shenanigan string like up 3+4 or 3-4 and then try to get the low at the end, or
please,
or down forward 3-4-4. I think the second hit of this also hits grounded as well. Yeah, everything is grounded for this guy.
I know, jeez.
Yeah, so there's that. I think 1 down 4. No, yeah, 1-3 also hits grounded. Certain angles. So I think that's pretty much about it for Bob's ground hitting moves. I mean, the main one you'll be using is down 1 definitely, since it's safe, mid, and if they block it, who cares? That's pretty much about it. If you absolutely know they're gonna stay grounded, you could just go for down 4 1+2. If they block it, if they get up and block it, you only get a small damage on the ground. And since he's grounded as well, like we said, scaling is different. It'll only do 100% rather than 120%. Then
yeah, I mean that's typically the 2 ground hitting moves that you're going to see most often when going against the Bob player.
A lot of Bob's Oki revolves around him spiking his opponent, and then he's gonna be using like down 1 just to be safe and hit him grounded. But then you could also mix it up in case they get up and they block standing. You could go for like a hell sweep or something. But you got to use that at your own risk, and you have to read your opponent in that situation as well.
Okay, so I mean I think we covered pretty much most, if not all, of his ground hitting moves. We started talking about a little bit about his Okizeme there, so let's go ahead and just move right into his Okizeme. Alright, so we just talked about his ground hitting moves. Let's go ahead and talk about his Okizeme, and let's start off with Okizeme from throws and some of his special grabs at the same time.
Alright, so one of the key things about Bob is that his throws give great Oki, all of them. Like, Alright, let's just start off with one throw. As you can see here, Lily is in a face down, feet towards position, asking Bob to just come and caress me right now. So we will do just that. You know, if they just stay down will kill, you know, smack her. And it's like, you know, you've been a bad girl, I'm just gonna smack your butt. Like, boom! Alright? And then the good thing about this too is that, let's say Lily gets up from this position. And if I do down, nope, this time. Yeah, they'll be left back turn and down 2-1, 2-2. You know, you'll get like 78 damage or something like that.
76. Yeah,
76
it's a ton of damage, regardless.
Plus 35 damage after from the throw. That's a lot of damage. Yeah, there we go. So if they get up again, you could hit them from a headbutt on her back, and it'll do a lot of damage plus the throw. But a lot of players, like I said, like to back roll in this situation. And in this situation, if they back roll, you could actually chase them down. You would just dash towards them and then headbutt their back.
Okay.
So that's pretty much the main Oki after his one throw. Let's talk about his two throw. The two throw, it leaves them right in front of him, but Bob actually, you know, if they back roll, his down forward one will catch them and he'll get a full combo. He'll have Lily back roll again. Then you can float them, you know, go for a full combo. You know, like we said, since he has such a great ground hitting move with down one, he could just smack them with down one. You know, you've been a bad girl again. So,
Again!
So, you know, there we go. Like we said, down one is your main ground hitting move, so
Yeah.
just use down one to smack her. The other cool part is that if they don't back roll or get up, if she gets up straight instead, Bob can actually use back two to float them. And then he can get a full combo off of that as well. And then the cool part about back two is that it'll also catch back rolls. Yeah, and then you can get a full combo after that as well. But then just keep in mind, if you use back 2-2 in this situation, you could. But if they get up and you mistimed it just by a little bit, you know, they could duck in and then you're going to die. So
Yeah.
So, you know, pretty much just use back 2 just to pick up. The timing is really tight for it. If you miss it and you use back 2-2, you could die. So just keep that in mind. Use just back 2 if they back roll or get up quick, or down 1 just to hit them grounded. And then the next part about Bob is his forward 4-1+2, which is actually one of his better useful moves that we didn't cover since it was a throw. But it actually floats them up in the air like that. They can actually tech from it, but the beauty of this thing is that you can actually follow up with a full combo.
Yeah, so you should never be letting them tech out this throw.
You shouldn't let them tech. It's only 15 damage if you let them tech, and you're pretty stupid if you let them tech.
Unless you just want to end the match in style. You're going to die.
Yeah, just throw them up, let your hands up in the air, and celebrate. But other than that, it's really good since it's basically a launcher. You get good damage after it. You know, use it for wall carry and stuff like that. So the good thing about this too is that you could also go for Oki or like a different combo depending on your playstyle. Let's say you didn't want like down forward 2 after it will not flip them over. You know, because if you do 4-4-3 after it, it makes them go straight, and you can get a full straight combo, and you can take them to the wall that way. But if you just want to get a regular, you know, back turn combo in the air, you can start off with down forward 2, bind them backwards, and get a combo like that instead. But in that situation, you'll be going more for Oki rather than a wall carry. So if you want to go for wall carry, you can either do down back 2, which does the same damage as 4-4-3.
Okay.
Also, I thought the best setup I've ever seen for that grab is down forward 1, counter hit 2, and then grab them, because they're trying to break the stun with forward, and then they have to break a grab right after.
That's another thing too. Since you have a couple frames after down forward 1-2, you know, you could actually if you do it quick enough, you could actually grab them, and then they would have to break the throw right after they break the stun. So it's like a double break situation.
So is it a free grab attempt with the stun?
It's a free grab attempt. So they have to break the stun and then break the, or actually they could just break the throw right away.
Yeah.
But if you got past the first layer of Yomi right there with breaking the stun, then you go for the throw because they have to break 2 things. So that's pretty much about it. And there's one more throw that's useful just against the wall. 4-4-1+2 you could use against the wall and use forward 4 and then get them up for a wall spot, or you could use forward 4-1+2 as well. And then, like we said, back 4-1 would be the useful bind move in this situation, rather than the headbutt. But there's another throw from full crouch that he has, and it's useful because after down 1, leaves him in full crouch, and since this throw comes out in 10 frames as well, if they try to retaliate with jabs, I believe since it's throws beat attacks if they're colliding at the same frame, this will actually be a jab out, and then you'll go for the throw. You get wall splat, and it gets big damage after it. The throw itself does 30 damage, and then it gets a full wall combo after it.
So cheap.
Yeah, so it's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty much about it for his throws. I mean, he has some side throws that are pretty silly, but again, down one,
or, back 2.
Yeah, same situation all over again. Let me try to get the left side throw right here. Yeah, that one leaves him pretty far, and then the back throw. Yeah, it's whatever. It's silly. And then from there you could go for running 3+4, but
Okay. So it sounds like we've covered all of his throws and special grabs and the Oki after them, but how about just general Oki, wall Oki?
Okay, so basically Bob's combos will pretty much after a bind, it will end with forward 4-3, then back 1+2. The thing about back 1+2 is that there's a string after it, back 1+2, 1. It's really delayable, and then if they try to get up after the back 1+2, the 1 will catch quick get up and back roll. So let's try to demonstrate it here. I'll start the combo shorter just to demonstrate the combo. And then if they get up, the follow up will catch, and then you follow up with a back 2, and then you can get a full combo after that.
There.
And then back 2, and then you bind them again, and then it's just fun times from there. But the thing about the spike that makes it good is his ground hitting moves, like we said. And then you just go for that. If you stay down, just down 1.
Or even elbow drop.
Yeah, down back 3, or elbow drop, or you could pretty much go anywhere from there. A lot of players like to do in tournament situation because they're nervous, they're kind of scared to delay the back 1+2 1 because they might throw off the timing a bit. A lot of players like to use back 2 in its place, just straight up back 2 right away. But then you got to keep in mind that it only works against back roll and it doesn't actually pick up against quick stand.
Interesting.
Yeah, they could actually get up in time for quick stand since this is actually a string, and the timing of it is a lot quicker than waiting for this to recover and then doing a back 2. So doing this is a lot better if you think they're going to get up, and if they don't, you could just go straight for a down 1 or down back 3 or whatever hits rounded. It's pretty much about it for Bob's Oki. And then there, like we said, how we could launch in back turn and then get a combo from back turn. In this situation right there, if I do the only thing guaranteed is a 1+2. And the cool part is if I do a 1+2 and then forward and then roll, the 4 is actually guaranteed as well. If they get up, it'll actually trip them from back turn. Yeah, and then I can get a full combo all over again. And then in this situation, since the roll is hitting them from the back, okay, so since the roll and then the spinner ball 4 hits them from the back, the combo actually goes straight because Bob goes through them now. Oh yeah. See, now the combo goes straight rather than a regular spinner ball 4 where he gets the combo from back. So in this situation right there, if he gets up, the 4 is basically guaranteed, so he has to stay down for it. But if he starts staying down, he can do spinner ball then 3+4, which does a lot of damage. But the other thing as well, if they try to roll back and reduce the damage for the spinner ball 4 after the spike, there's another option for that as well. I'll show here. If they try to roll back, as you can see there, spinner ball 1 will float them, and you can actually stick a jab in there and then get the bind again, and then it will all reset all over again. And then the situation resets itself all over again.
Wow.
So if you want to stay down, you just take the 4, or if you stay down, you take the 3+4, and then that will do a lot of damage. So it's kind of like a mix-up again in that situation as well. So that's pretty much about it. If you hit them straight, you're ending your combo with back 1+2 and going for the back 1+2 1 delay or down 1. Or if you hit them from back turn, you get 1+2 and then 4, or 1+2 forward and then 3+4, or 1+2 forward 1. That's pretty much about it for all of the Oki situation.
Alright, so that about covers up most of his Oki. We got a wall on the stage, so let's just go ahead and move right into Bob's wall game.
Alright, so like we said earlier, he has this 4-4-1+2, and then if you wanted to wall splatter him in that situation, you could just go 4-1+2, and then back 4-1, and down 4-1, down 4. That's the max damage combo from it. But, like we said, he has the wall splat throw as well, which is full crouch, down forward, down forward, 1+2, the slide motion. And then a wall splat from pretty far away, since they stagger back, and then the whole time they stagger back, they could get wall splatted. So they kind of splat, they splat themselves to the wall. So, oh, where am I going? Boom. Yeah, So there's that. The other thing that makes Bob really scary at the wall is his down one, he can lock him down, but then he has his headbutt. And then the headbutt at the wall is just, pretty much round over there. And
yeah, I hate having my back to the wall against Bob.
Yeah.
Just because of that headbutt, really.
And then he gets a little back dash, and then down back 2 to resplat him, and then
You jab too much. Goes under jabs.
Yeah, it goes under jabs. So if you try to retaliate, you're gonna die. So headbutt is a really dangerous tool at the wall. Down back 2 to resplat him on the wall, and then back 4-1, down 4-1, down 3+4 to finish your combo off. That's really good, but then why would that be scary if there's no low? And the crazy part is that he has 2 really great lows at the wall. Down back 3+4-4. Unlike in the open, down back 3+4-4, there's no pushback. As we'll show here in the open, it gives at least a decent pushback. So, his jabs won't reach at least. But at the wall, there's nowhere to go. So, they're gonna, he could do another one right away. If you try to attack, a 4-1+2 is uninterruptible. You can't interrupt it with a while standing 4 because he's at way too much frame advantage.
Wow.
So you're just gonna be, if you're mashing, you're just gonna be getting yourself a counter hit on the wall. And then this is safe. The first hit is safe. So if they hit confirm it and then they notice that you were mashing a while standing 4 or a down jab or something, you're gonna get wall splat.
Right.
So this is a great tool to lock you down at the wall. And the crazy part is, after a wall combo, what I personally like to do is, let's say I wall splatted them, I finish a combo, and then he techs off the wall. I do a little sidestep first, right? Right during that sidestep, that means I could store a sidestep 1+2, because I could hold it, I could delay it for like a split second, and do a sidestep 1+2, and just to add to the mix-up, I would do a sidestep and then down back 3+4-4. And then in that situation, it's just all mix-ups from there. Do they want to take a safe mid and get wall splatted? And even if they block it, they want to retaliate, I can just do it for another sidestep 1+2 again.
Right, and you mentioned that there were 2 lows that were scary.
Yeah,
with your
and
back
then
to the wall?
the second low would be his hell sweep or his crouch dash 4-1+2.
Copa cut.
Yeah.
Cutting Copa.
Yeah, the good thing about this low, like we mentioned earlier, is that since their back is at the wall, there's no pushback anymore. So this means that I could just go for a down 1 if they stay grounded. That will do decent damage, but he also has the option of doing a hurricane kick at the wall if he stays grounded as well. Okay, so after if they do stay grounded, the hurricane kicks, if the first hit hits on the wall, the rest will be all guaranteed, just like it's seen here. It'll do 29.
I think so.
29 damage, so it's a pretty scary option if they start staying down. So you can start going for that, but if they try to get up, Bob can also get a combo as well, a small combo. If they try to get up, back 2-2 will float, and then down 3+4 will combo as well. So
nice.
He has that option. So basically the safe mix-up right here would be going for down 1 or back 2-2. Down 1 to hit them grounded, back 2-2 to pick them up if they try to stand.
Okay. And, I've seen Fab use this setup where he does something and he does his backswing blow at the wall.
There's a lot of setups for this one. The thing about back forward 1 is that he kind of takes a step back and evades a lot of moves. The sweet part about this move is it becomes a lot scarier at the wall because it'll wall splat now. And if it does, you'll be losing a lot of life. And the good thing about, one setup would be like, let's say he does a up 4-1+2. If he hits this in the first place, it would have hit, and then you'll be dead by then.
Right.
But if you block it and you try to retaliate with like something, and then boom, you're back on the wall. Bye bye.
Right, and of course that back sway blow is launch punishable,
Yes,
so it's
it is.
very risky for a Bob player to throw out.
So it's kind of like just a good read on a player's part. But, if you didn't read them and then they launch you for it, that's your bad. But, he has a lot of safe, wall splat options. Here we go. Another one is a Hadouken. Just crouch dash 1+2. If you charge it, it's a little slower. The animation gets a little more visible, but, when you're in a high tournament situation, it's still pretty scary. It becomes -6 if you hold it, so it's pretty safe. If you try to attack, you could do some shenanigans with, like back forward 1 or something. So.
I hate this character at the wall.
And then if you just do it by itself, without the charge, it actually only does 30 damage, I believe. Yeah, 30 damage, but it is -10. So just keep that in mind, that uncharged is -10, full charge it's safe. And pretty much it just has a lot of mid options to wall splat you with and a lot of lows to keep you at the wall. So it's a pretty dangerous character at the wall. Oh, and also, if your back is at the wall, or let's say I hit you with a hell sweep and then you try to do a wake up 4 or something, you gotta be pretty crazy to do that, because 4-2-3 will splat.
Oh yeah.
And then there's a lot of Bob players that will just not duck at the wall when they knock you down, because they really just want that, get up 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? I mean, it's gonna reach every get up kick, right?
Yeah,
it's gonna
and
wall
if
splat
he
for
does
sure.
a 3, what's gonna happen? It's like, oh no,
gets a
I
little
lost
bit-
like.
And I still
15
got
damage,
positional advantage over you with the wall behind you.
Exactly.
Just do another sidestep 1+2 right after.
Yeah, he takes the low, just sidestep 1+2 because you're trying to retaliate with your positive frames, but
Right.
you're not getting it.
I hate this character. Anyway, so we're gonna show you guys some combos and stuff, and then we'll come back with Bob's item move and unblockable. Alrighty, so I hope you guys enjoyed those combos and wall combos. Let's go and talk about Bob's item move and unblockable.
Alright, cool. First thing I'll talk about is Unblockable. He has two. The first one I'll talk about is his high one. It's back 2+3. It's pretty fast, but it has a noticeable animation. You know, there's sparks sparkling all over the place. Big fat man flying. And yeah, pretty much you could float him out of it, but you know the best thing to do since it is high, you just duck it and go for it. There you go. Your character gets a launch, and the other unblockable is back 3+4. You notice it's a lot slower startup, but yeah.
Is that mid?
Yeah, that one is mid. Yeah, it's pretty slow.
And does that one hit grounded?
Not sure.
No, just stay there and do it again.
Yeah, it doesn't hit grounded. It's pretty useless. There's no setup for it. There's no like tech trap or anything for it. So.
And he has a cancel out of one of his.
Yeah, the second one I was just about to get to that. He does have a cancel out of it. But you know it's a mid already in the first place. But you can cancel it with a mid.
Oh.
Which is basically sidestep 1+2.
Yeah, so you're basically kind of mixing up this one with this one into a cancel into a mid. But this one's like really slow. So.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty much about it for his unblockables. And then, I think he has one more. Well, I don't think that's an unblock. Yeah.
Fake unblockable.
Yeah, it's a supercharged 4. It's an extension after a supercharge. It has pretty blue sparkly lights and stuff, but it doesn't really do anything. Alright, so we have Bob's item move here with the little top hat. Nicely customized with a full black outfit. But to do it, you just press 1+4 together, and then he does birds.
He does birds.
He does birds.
It's like throw them up in the air and just celebrate.
Okay, and so in the arcade though, there was another chicken one or something.
Yeah, like the top chef hat, when you have it on, when you're getting comboed, Bob used to actually drop chickens out of his head. And then
Out of his head?
Yeah, it just drop out of his body like Devil Jin drops feathers out of his wings.
Okay.
So he would be dropping chickens at the beginning of the next round after he loses or wins or whatever. He starts staring at the piece of chicken that dropped on the floor, like in the corner of the stage.
Like cooked chicken?
It would be
Or
static.
like walking animals?
like
like a
edible
drumstick.
chicken.
Like
Oh,
a
okay,
drumstick.
okay.
Yeah, he would be staring at it, but we can't find it in the console version.
Yeah, so if you guys know, then post them in the comments and let us know what they've changed it to, because we can't figure it out.
Yeah, Bob's just releasing dubs right now.
Alrighty, so let's go ahead then and let's move on to Anti-Bob. Alrighty, time for the final section. Let's talk about how do we beat Bob.
Alright, so first thing I want to talk about is Bob's offense is basically generated around his jabs and his down forward 1. So, since he's going to be harassing players with down forward 1, you know, a lot of good ideas to counter this type of strat to start offense with Bob is sidestepping him to his left.
To your left.
Yeah,
His
to
right.
your left, to his right. You know, pretty much avoid this move pretty well, and then if you're close enough, you can step in all the way to the back like we just saw. But at least it's a special case because she has one of the best side steps in the game. But you know, like we said, down forward 2 will cover that situation. But then again, you know, he's gonna have a problem if it going the other way.
Right.
So it's basically just a mix up of pokes, and then the pokes don't do very much damage. So it's you can kind of take like 5 of these before you sidestep one, and then you kill him for one, and then you make up more damage than he would have got from the poke in the first place. So it's kind of a payoff in that regard, but you know, you can't just take pokes all day either. So
Right, but other than the pokes, I mean, also Bob's headbutt, you're
Yeah.
gonna want to sidestep,
yeah.
right?
The thing about Bob's headbutt is that you can step it either way. It doesn't matter. It's really linear. The only good thing about it is that he kind of takes a really far hop, but even so, you're getting all the way to his back. So by then, you know, he's pretty screwed.
Right, and that's why Bob is to start using the down forward 1 and down forward 2 to start tracking you.
Yeah, just to make you start playing a linear game, so you just play back and forth. But if you remember that if you're stepping, and you're stepping is down forward 1, that's mainly what you're gonna try to look out for. Another like after that, you know, he's just trying to lock you down with jabs and stuff too. So jabs don't track both ways for Bob or anything. So you know, it's just a lot of Bob players will try to step with you and try to track with you so he could make his moves track. But, you know, in that sense as well, you know, if he's whiffing a jab just to try to create offense, that's that you're creating a whiff just by making him sidestep, and he's not getting much from the jab in the first place. So, you know, it's pretty worth it to go for. There he did. Look, he dropped the chicken. He's looking at the.
Where's the chicken?
Right
He
there,
dropped
right
it. He's
there,
looking
right
at
there.
it. Look.
Oh my god!
What the hell? How's it work now?
You have to sidestep him 18 times in practice mode, and then he'll drop chickens.
No,
All
I
right,
think
don't post that in the comments. We just found that.
I don't know how it triggers it, but
Yeah,
I
look.
think the game has to go on for like 2 minutes.
As you
or
can see
something.
there, he dropped a piece of chicken.
There, right
And,
there.
that's
Over
how
here.
that's how you counter Bob. You got to make him drop chickens and make him stare at it. But look,
instead of breaks,
look at that. He's staring right at the chicken, not at
me.
Elisa.
Yeah.
Lenny. He's having a good time, man. He's like, oh, I want to eat that.
Chop it, chop it, chop it. Delicious.
anyways, back to anti-Bob.
All right. So back to anti-Bob.
Wait, hold up. I want to pick it up too.
All right, so enough with the chicken fun. All right, so now, Bob's going to be poking with ones and down forward ones and stuff.
Right.
And then after that, he's going to try to break your offense with lows, but Bob generally wouldn't do very many low pokes. The only lows he would go for is the big ones. Because basically he's harassing you all day, and you're all scared of his headbutt and stuff like that, which does a lot of big, beefy damage. And he's going to be doing a lot of down ones to keep you locked down as well. So a lot of times down one has a really good hitbox, but again, it is also linear. So you could step it, and then if you do, he's pretty much dead. I think you could step it both ways.
Wow, no kidding.
Yeah.
So, I mean, defensively, if you're getting locked down, if say you block a single down one, what are your best options?
Single down one, just be patient. A lot of Bob players will just do like 2 down ones in a row just to try to lock you down. But, if you're stepping it correctly, keep in mind that Bob's the only one that's left in full crouch.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're still left
You're
in
full
standing.
crouch, right.
So,
you're standing, sorry.
So you could step either way, while Bob can only step one way because he's in crouch.
And don't throw out jabs after you block one.
Don't throw out jabs because you're gonna eat while standing twos and stuff like that. But if you're trying to step, Bob can actually try to track you with like a while standing 1 or while standing 2. Yeah, but at least yeah, generally a lot of characters can't step while standing 1 or while standing 2 because it has pretty good tracking to their respective sides. But again, they're only a mix-up again. Both of them only track one way. And yeah, that's pretty much about it for down 1 lockdowns. And then after that, since down forward 1, down 1 is most of his lockdown tool, if you start turtling up and have good defense against them, a lot of Bob players will be forced to go for down back 3+4/4. And keep in mind that does have a stagger, and then also it doesn't track as well. Yeah. So pretty much, you could step towards, you could step his down back 3+4/4 to your right, but the only thing you have to really worry about is down forward 1. So when I generally fight against Bob players, what I generally do is step right, because the only thing that's going to track is down forward 1, right? But if you're stepping to your left, you have to worry about down forward 2, possibly counter hitting. His hell sweep tracks that way. His hop kick tracks that way.
Wow, Elisa's crazy.
Yeah.
And we showed earlier with the different character that
like there, right there.
Right.
Bob's already like back turn, but then the hop kick has a huge hitbox towards that side. So generally, when I'm fighting against Bob, I just step to my right and just sidestep block. If I sidestep block, all I have to worry about is down forward 1.
Right.
And then that's not really much,
I mean, because Bob players aren't usually throwing out the down forward 1 2.
Yeah.
Right.
If they're doing down forward 1 2, you get ready to punish. It's -12, so. That's pretty much about it. You just step them well, but keep in mind that a lot of Bob players will try to keep pressure on you by stepping with you and keeping you locked down. And just make sure when he's pressuring you like this, he doesn't slowly push you to the wall.
Right.
Because that's the main part where Bob wants you. He's doing all these jabs and down ones and down forward ones, but the main thing he's trying to do is just get you to the wall. Oh no, you're at the wall now.
Right. And now defensively, when you got your back to the wall, I mean, you just want to be very careful.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he's gonna go for his headbutt. I mean, it's safe. The first part by itself. We talked a lot about his wall game earlier, but I mean, in general, what I like to do against Bob player, I'm gonna be blocking and sidestep blocking a lot, and to carefully move away from the wall.
Sidestep blocking is going to be your best friend against
You can't
this guy.
sidestep block when he does sidestep with you and then 1+2.
Right. I mean, you got to be very careful, like I said. So sidestep block, and hopefully you'll block the 1+2. Right. I mean, it's a very difficult matchup once you get your back to the wall against Bob.
Yeah, and a lot of his combos carry very far with like enders like down 2-1-2. The last one just sends you flying and then your back's at the wall and then you have to take a guessing game from there. So generally you don't want to get launched. Most of his launchers are going to be coming from whiff punishers. So you don't want to whiff from him like at around this range. Because he's just going to scoop you up for free, take you to the wall, and then it's just going to be a nightmare from there. And then other than that, you know, like I said, if you have good defense against him, he's eventually going to be forced to go for the hell sweep.
Right.
And then at that point, if you step right, and then the hell sweep will just completely whiff. And then once it does, the second hit's launch punishable, even on block. You know, in that situation, Elisa got all the way to his back, so he's really screwed there. A lot of Bob players, after down 1, down forward 1, down 1, that kind of situation, a lot of them like to break your defense with continuous 1+2 throws. Because since it is a launcher, per se, they like to test your throw breaking skills, and they go for a 4-1+2 a lot. And also, if they landed, they get a full combo. But keep in mind, Bob players also like to do his other throws too, because he gives a lot of great Oki situations with all of his throws. So just make sure your throw breaking is on point, and make sure your movement and your blocking is on point as well.
Alrighty, anything else we want to throw in there?
The thing I usually do when I get hit by hell sweep, you know how you say you always do the running move? I like to roll forward.
Yeah.
So he goes over.
A lot of Bob players like to do, you know, the hell sweep and then, you know, like a running 3 or something. And if he does the running 3, you'll just go right under him.
Interesting.
Yeah, but if he does the running 3+4, you're just gonna block. So you're pretty much, you know, it's pretty safe
To roll forward, huh?
even still. So
But I mean, if you roll forward and he doesn't do a running move, he can just scoop you up with down forward 1 or something, I bet.
he could, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So risky.
But now in this situation, you're just, you know, playing the statistics. You know, the statistic. You know, average ball player.
Yeah,
average ball player will
does it.
do
Every-
the running move after a
Okay.
hell sweep. So, and basically, another thing, he doesn't really have a great while standing 13 frame punisher. He
Right.
only has while standing 4 from -11 to 13. So you could kind of get away with certain lows, but keep in mind anything 14. You're gonna die. So.
Right, and you know, talking about his punishment, he doesn't have a 15 frame launcher.
Yeah,
right?
he doesn't have
good,
a 15 frame launcher either, so you could kind of get away with a couple things. as
Right,
well.
like, you know, obviously for law, he's got down 2-3, -15. You know,
Yeah,
Bob
like
can't
he-
launch it.
Like even that, like all he gets is like a headbutt or something. But if your back's not at the wall, it's still good damage, but you're not gonna die. You know, so it's pretty much about it. Bob staring at that chicken.
Alrighty, I guess that about wraps up our Bob episode, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So subscribe to our channel, check out our app on the App Store, and tune in next time to level up your game.